Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we are going to discuss the important topics from the Hindu and the Indian Express, especially in terms of the prelims perspective. So, today, as part of the series, let us discuss the topics from 10th July 2025, where we are going to discuss first about the Mahi River and second about the EROs, that is the Electoral Registration Officer, and third about the Starlink services in India, and fourth about the InSpace, and finally Lithuania country mapping as part of the mapping series. So starting with our first topic, that is the Mahi River. So why we are discussing this? See, yesterday, that is on July 9th, there was a bridge called Gambira Bridge in the Vadodara district of the Gujarat state. And this bridge is on the Mahi Sagar river, which is nothing but this Mahi river only. In Gujarat, it is known as the Mahi Sagar river. And this Gambira bridge over this Mahi Sagar river was collapsed, and it led to at least death of the 12 people. So we'll see about the Mahi river or the Mahi Sagar river. So this Mahi river is the major west flowing river. Sorry, it is river. Major west flowing rivers of India. There are other west flowing rivers. What are those? This is your homework. What are the other west flowing rivers of India apart from the Mahi river? And this Mahi river rises from the northern slopes of the Vindhya ranges near the Dhar district in the Madhya Pradesh state. And it flows through the Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and the Gujarat with a length of 34,842 square kilometer. So it drainages these states by covering the area of 34,842 square kilometer. And this river's total length is about 583 kilometer. And coming to the course of this river, see, after rising in the northern slopes of the Vindhya ranges, it flows in the southern direction in the Madhya Pradesh. And after that, it goes to the Rajasthan in the southeast direction. And before reaching the state of Gujarat, it takes a U shape in the Rajasthan. U shape in the Rajasthan and then reaches the Gujarat in the Vadodara district, and there it flows in the northward direction before draining into the Gulf of Kambat and then into the Arabian Sea. So it totally flows in the three states, that is Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and the Gujarat, and finally flows into the Arabian Sea through the Gulf of Kambat. And one more important fact is that this Mahi river crosses the Tropic of Cancer twice. This is very, very important. This Mahi river crosses the Tropic of Cancer twice. And coming to the tributaries of this Mahi river, some of the important tributaries are Eru, Nuri, Chap, Som, Jhakam, Moran, Anas, Panam and the Badar. These are some of the tributaries of this Mahi river. And coming to the dams, this is the Mahi Bajaj Sagar Dam. Mahi Bajaj Sagar Dam in the Rajasthan state. It is also known as the Banswara Dam. This dam is situated on the Mahi river in the state of Rajasthan, and two dams in the Gujarat, that is the Khadana Dam and the Vanaghori Dam. Now moving to our second topic, that is the Electoral Registration Officer, EROs. So why we are discussing about this EROs? See, in our previous Everyday Essential series, we have discussed about this revision, right? Special intensive revision of the Election Commission in the Bihar state. So regarding that, the controversy has come up that the documents considered valid for the voter registration during the special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar, this role, the electoral registration officer role, has a major role. So that's why we are discussing about this electoral registration officer. So What is that role of the ERO in the special intensive revision? See, if a voter does not have the required documents, see, the election commission has provided 11 documents, and in that they have to produce any one of the document. So if the voter does not have the required document, so the entire discretion lays upon the ERO, Electoral Registration Officer, to look upon the validity, whether to exclude or to include, whether to exclude that person or to include that person in the electoral list, that is in the voter list. And this is said by the latest election commission manual, rules on the electoral rules. So have you got the point? So who has the authority or the discretion to decide whether to include a person in the electoral list or to exclude an electoral list? That is rest with the electoral registration officer. And this power or this authority has given by the Election Commission manual, which was issued in the March 2023. So now, who are this electoral registration officer? So, who are these electoral registration officers, EROs? So, these are appointed under the Section 13B of the ROPA Act 1950, that is the Representation of the People's Act 1950, appointed by the Election Commission. And who are these? These are generally the civil servants or the revenue officers. Civil servants or the revenue officers, such as the sub-divisional officers or others having equal rank or the equivalent status with respect to the civil servants, generally appointed by the election commission within their respective jurisdiction, that is within their assembly constituencies. So the civil servants or these revenue officers having the jurisdiction over their assembly constituencies, right? So from there only the election commission appoints those officers as the EROs, electoral registration officers. And what is the purpose of this electoral registration officers? That is, they prepare and revise the list of the electoral roll. Now moving to a third topic, that is the Starlink services in India. So why we are discussing this, the Elon Musk owned Starlink has received the last remaining regulatory clearance from the government, paving the way for the company to start offering SATCOM, satellite communication services in India. So now SpaceX Starlink is operating, now has got the permission to operate in India. And this permission has given by the InSpace. So we'll see about this InSpace in the next topic. But now let us see about this Starlink. And this InSpace has authorized this Starlink Satellite Communications Private Limited, which is located in the New Delhi, to operate the satellite communication services over Indian territory. And it gave the permission for the Starlink Gen 1 low Earth orbit satellite constellation, which includes 4,408 satellites which orbit the Earth at an altitude between 540 to 570 kilometers. And they gave the period approval for a period of 5 years, or generally for the 5 years from giving the permission, or earlier, or if this satellite constellation stops early also, that is their duration, whichever is earlier, whether it is 5 years or the working functioning of this satellite constellation. And it provides up to 600 Gbps capacity capable internet over India, thereby promoting or the internet connection to the rural and the remote areas. So what is this Starlink? The Starlink is a satellite network provided by a private spaceflight company, that is the SpaceX, which is owned by the Elon Musk. And what is the purpose? It provides high-speed internet to the remote locations. It provides high-speed internet to the remote locations such as the rural areas or the any other remote locations. And these satellites are placed in an altitude range between 350 kilometer to 200 kilometers in the low Earth orbit. So these satellites are placed in a orbital range of 350 to 1200 kilometers in the low Earth orbit. And the lifespan is that the one satellite has a lifespan of approximately 5 years. One satellite has approximately 5 years lifetime. So what is the idea behind this Starlink that is providing satellite internet to this remote area? See, traditionally, how we get the internet services through the optical fibers or the cell towers, right? Or the digital subscriber lines also. Through this, the traditional is that through this we will get the internet. But through this Starlink means the constellation of the satellite placed in the Earth's orbit, that is the low Earth orbit, and from there directly we will get the internet. So there is no need to build the physical infrastructures like the optical fibers and the cables. So this is the one advantage of this Starlink. Moving to a fourth topic, that is the in-space. So why we are discussing this? This in-space only granted authorization to the SATCOM company for its satellite constellation to operate over the Indian territory. And this INSPACE stands for Indian National Space Promotion and the Authorization Center. It is a autonomous agency in the Department of Space. Autonomous agency with respect acts under the Department of Space, and it acts as a single window agency for all space sector activities relating to the private entities. So this INSPACE takes their action if and only where the private entities are coming into the role. So that's why the SpaceX is a private company, right? So to operate the SpaceX operations in India, this InSpace has to give the approval to operate their conditions in India. So there comes the role of this InSpace. And it promote and enable, authorize and supervise the various space activities of the NGOs, means the non-governmental entities with respect to the space sector. This InSpace is supported by the three directorates. Those are the Promotion Directorate, Technical Directorate, and the Program Management and the Authorization Directorate. So remember, in space means it looks into the promotion of the private sector cooperation in the space sector. Now moving to a final topic, that is the Lithuania. So why we are discussing this? Previously we discussed about this Poland and the Germany, right? The Poland has reinstated border controls with the Germany and the Lithuania. Violating the Shenzhen free visa or the no internal checks border scheme. So this Lithuania is a country in the Baltic region of the Europe, and it is largest of the three Baltic states. So what are the Baltic states? Baltic states, here it is Baltic Sea, right? The Baltic states means the countries surrounding this Baltic region. Those are, what are other two Baltic states? Those are the Estonia and the Latvia. So among these three Baltic states, this Lithuania is the southernmost and the largest of these three Baltic states. Its capital is Vilnius. And see, it is bordered by Latvia, which is also one of the Baltic state. And Belarus, Poland, and some part of the Russia, that is Kaliningrad Oblast. And on its west, it is the Baltic Sea. And it is drainaged by the rivers like Venta River, Neman River, and the Neris River. It also has the Lake Galva. And this Lithuania is the high income country, that is a developed country with the advanced economy, and it is a member of the United Nations, European Union, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, World Trade Organization, International Monetary Fund, Organization of Cooperation and Economic Development, and also the Shenzhen Agreement. Also, your homework today also, along with the west flowing rivers, see about what is this Shenzhen Agreement. So that's all for today. Thank you.